Welcome to the hashtag IMOMSOHARD podcast.
Yeah.
You can find us anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Yeah, wherever you darn well choose. You can also find us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, sometimes TikTok.
Not really, but we're getting there. You can find us on TikTok. It's not our TikTok channel.
Yeah, you can find Kristin watching TikTok.
Yeah, don't worry about it. You can't see me watching it, right?
Does the camera go this way?
Does the camera go that way? Oh my God,
know.
nightmare. They'll be like, all you search is thirst traps.
That is
Shut up.
Always how I feel like when I get on plastic surgery sites. I'm like, oh God,
they can see me.
I'm going to send this to my mom.
Well, who cares? They're going to send it. I feel like if they can see me on a plastic surgery website, they're like, you're here for a reason.
Oh boy.
We have a list
girl,
for you.
How about a discount? Here's a coupon code.
Let's get you scheduled. Let's do something for that chin, shall we?
Which is why we're getting thong bikinis.
Right. So today's subject, the most wonderful subject, and we're almost out of summer. Hot girl summer is almost over. Which is not something we were part of.
No,
we were part of.
I've actually been
average mom summer.
Below average.
Below average mom summer, and I'm fine with it.
Barely
C passes.
counts.
A C passes.
Yeah. So swimsuits have taken a turn for the.
We can really get in a conversation about this because I don't hate it.
You don't? Tell me more. Tell me more.
Okay. So this swimsuit trend, you guys have seen it, is like. It's the thong. Now, there are the all of them.
Okay.
There's degrees of thong. There is the string up the butt that does not look like anything. And if it's on me, definitely looks like my ass swallowed it. Like, It's just like string up which I've never even put one on.
I mean, there's a girl at our pool that wears a swimsuit that's got a macrame back to it. And I'm like,
I know those are very popular too.
I swear to God, she's got a plant up that keister.
What do you mean?
Well, like one of those macrame plant hangers that they used to make. Your grandma had them hanging in the...
Thank you. I have 4.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, you absolutely
We love a boho. Yeah.
So there's
She's a boho.
She's a boho. No judgment. Girl in the bikini.
No, God, your butt's great. I just stare at it.
But that's my point. And I'm going to just talk without judgment of myself. Can I have some wine, please? Because
I know.
I'm just going to let my flag fly.
It's the Sofia Vergara thong, because South Americans, they just wear thongs, you guys. That's why it's called a Brazilian wax.
Or the Brazilians. Yep. Yeah. They go for a demi cup in the butt, if you will.
May I quote another comedian that I thought was really funny? We follow, how do you say her name? Sofia Vergara?
Yeah.
Okay. On Instagram, and she just, God love her. She's effortless. She posted 2 thong photos of her butt, which, I mean, obviously, I'd be bragging about it too. But you don't feel like it's bragging from her.
It doesn't. She's just happy to be feminine.
She's like, here's my butt, you guys.
Yeah, here's my butt.
So fuckable.
And I'm like, hey, Sophia, well done, because that is a great ass. Thank you.
And it was really funny because Howie Mandel, they're on AGT together.
Yes,
his comment was, you should wear that hat more often.
Hilarious.
Yes, which that's exactly. I was like, I'm just going to stare at her hat.
Yeah.
If this camera's looking at me, I'm looking at her hat.
Meanwhile, I'm like zooming in. I'm like, she uses a filter.
I see.
Why doesn't she have a filter?
My labia don't look like that.
How'd she pack it all into that suitcase?
I don't know.
That's an eyeglass case.
Because she had that kid
suitcase.
young. I know.
She's got the situation figured out.
I would need a man's thong to get all that in there.
They make them
man's thong Speedo to get all that packed in there.
I would look like a man. What happened out there?
Kristin, you need to shave or wax before you do a thong, because right now it just looks like you've bagged and tagged a bear in one of those old school nets. Like you put it over, you dug a pit and it fell in, and
it's like a hairy creature got caught in like one of those trap nets.
Yes.
It's like,
she's at the beach and people are like, they got to clean up these fucking beaches, man.
This is like,
sorry, I'm swearing about Kristin's body hair.
This is seaweed situation. And you know what? I'm gonna do me. Okay. I'm not. You know what? I'm not wearing one yet. We're about to go to a girls' trip, and I might just freak everyone out. But let me get to the most important part. I'm going to describe.
I'm going to get one. I'm going to have it ready.
I think you should. You could pull it off more than anybody. Like, you've got a nice round butt. Listen, the thing I like about the thong is I feel like the derriere is not like embraced enough. And like it is one of those things, like the bigger and the rounder, the better it looks. And when I recently went to Arizona and I stayed at the Hyatt, and I went by the adult pool on my way to the kids slide for myself, and the women are wearing the thongs, and it does not matter your size or your shape or your cellulite or your tan or your posture. Everybody's wearing them. So I'm like, in my head, I'm like, this feels like sexy and empowering to me, but I can't exactly figure out why. Because I'm like, I think I worry about if I wore one, everyone would look at me and go, oh my God, her butt's kind of misshapen. She's got cellulite. Or would I be like, I'm getting a tan on my butt cheeks, y'all?
That's my worry, is people are going to be like, well, that looks more like a trapezoid that got kicked down the stairs and chipped in a couple places more than it does a butt.
But what if you just don't think that? What if you just don't think that for a day and you wear one?
Well, I do think that your butt is largely meat, but the butt is in a really difficult situation because it has...
Girl, preach. Mine is...
It has two jobs. Number one is, it is a sexual thing.
What are you talking about? On anniversaries only?
No, I'm not talking about having sex in the butt. I'm talking about just people look at it.
Sorry. Whoops.
Universally, we can all say, hey, that's a great butt. If it is a great butt. Like, it's muscular, it's up high, it's whatever. Yeah. Like, we can all agree on what a great butt is. So it does have that job to be a sexual object.
It's a come hither.
But you guys, it also poops. So it's a tough situation. So there's a part of me that, like with my kids, I tell them, like Delilah, I'm like, you know, wear a swim cover up because and you're in the pool, you're covered up by water.
Are so fun.
What? Oh, sorry. I really brought that mood down. What? Well, it's a hard, where I'm at, that's what I got to navigate is I don't want people looking at your butt. Now, me? Do I want to feel alive? Do I want people to look at my butt and think it's a nice butt? Yeah, I do. But I tell you what, I wear a full coverage brief. I got a little tan line. I'm not going backwards. I can't do a thong right now. It looks like
you need one day.
It looked like I'm wearing a white big brief with a stripe in the middle of it.
Do it.
Okay.
Do it.
I will. I will.
You are somebody that would do it.
I would do it.
I don't think I should do it, but I feel like I want to do it.
I think you'll do it just to shock me.
I think that the shaving alone will be something I need to start like in the next 20 minutes just to make it onto the flight tomorrow.
I know what your spa treatment's going to be.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Why is the full staff busy today? Why is that full? Nobody can give me a facial? Why not? I just need a manicure.
I'm not doing that.
Okay.
I will take my chances.
Wait, you got to do it a little bit.
I'm going to do it a little bit. Thank you very much.
Okay.
But I'm going to do it myself. I don't want anybody going up there with hot wax and then yanking on it.
No, you got to shave a little bit. I don't want you looking like a couple of coconuts, Kristin. Being carried in a tote.
You make it sound like I have giant testicles.
I don't know. I don't know what you have going on down there because you've never worn a thong around.
They're perfectly reasonable testicles. I have perfectly reasonable testicles. I don't even know why it has to be a thing. I'm drinking Chardonnay and I don't even drink Chardonnay.
Delicious Chardonnay. It's called Accomplice.
It's called Accomplice. And buy tickets to our show for Hawk and stuff right now. Back to thongs.
Yeah.
So the thing that I loved about these women wearing them is like there was something that I just could not stop looking at everybody's butt, but I had zero judgment as I was looking at the butt. Here's the truth. Even when I was a fit 20-something, I would go to the beach. I never looked at a woman that was quote unquote out of shape or something and was like, why are you wearing that? I looked at myself and I was like, this doesn't look good on you. Why are you wearing this? And now I see pictures of myself and I'm like, you were perfect.
A little swimsuit with a couple of toothpicks sticking out of the bottom
and then once I got the equipment up top, someone stopped me.
Then it was like a couple of marshmallows toothpicks stuck in it and a little tiny swimsuit put on it.
Yeah, that's 100%. You just described the hottest summer I've ever had. I had one summer that I was like, I kind of am pulling this off. And then I was like...
Yeah.
I've never felt very confident in a swimsuit anyway.
Nobody has.
Yes, you have. You're full of it. You went to like lakes and stuff when you were like 14 in bikinis, and you were fine with it because you never considered yourself. You never were like, oh, this is.
Yeah.
You never looked in the mirror and were like, oh, I shouldn't like this part of myself. So
it wasn't
you were
confidence.
actually in advance.
It wasn't confidence. It was ignorance.
That's different. It's still confidence.
It wasn't until I was in college and heard people talking about their bodies that I was like, oh, am I not supposed to like this about? Like, am I supposed to be critical of this?
But most people are critical at a very young age, I feel like. Like,
yes,
I would look in the mirror and I was like, why am I just like all inseam and no hips and no boobs, and I'm 14. It was really hard. I never felt, and also the suits of our generation, they're back. They might have been back and gone, but it was those ones that look like a sports bra, but they're tied at the sides, so the sides go up really high.
Oh,
do you remember those?
Like the body glove.
The body glove, and then the middle. I mean, I was thick-middled. And then skinny legs and like a super high inseam. Do you want to know what suit looks the worst on you? That one.
Yeah.
As soon as those untied and I could wear like a 2-piece that had like a higher waist, I was good to go. But that was a nightmare.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I think I knew that other people like looked good in swimsuits and I didn't. I was like, oh, well, that's their thing.
Buy a thong.
I'll buy a thong and I'll wear a thong.
I'll buy a thong, and one of them, and there will be 2 comments. Wow, that looks great. And the other one is, wow, you're so brave. And we know that one of those is going towards me and one of those is going towards you.
No, that's not true at all. Actually, those jeans that you're wearing right now, they're new. And you were like, well, they're big on you right now.
Yeah, they're a little big.
Yep. I know, because you've been doing all your stuff.
No, but
your butt's up high.
I shit the bed for the last 2 days. I just enjoyed. I went to bed last night and I wasn't even hungry, and I was like, I'm gonna just eat a sleeve of crackers.
Oh God, yeah.
Why? I didn't even want them. They were delicious.
I had 3 Rice Krispie treats in one night.
I can eat lasagna and never get full. What does that mean?
That lasagna's delicious
And perfect. It's a perfect food.
Yeah.
It's the one. It's the meal I want to eat on the way out.
Sure. If
they're like, she died because she ate too much lasagna, I'd be like, I think there's worse ways to go.
If somebody's like, I don't like lasagna, I'm like, what medically is wrong with you?
Yeah, what about pasta and cheese and a little bit of meat sauce?
Some little
is
spicy
it perfection
stuff? Yeah.
all put together, and it also comes in a convenient
4 kinds
loaf.
of cheese. Yeah,
like
stupid.
I think you're dumb if you don't like lasagna.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you probably look a lot better in a thong than me, but you know what? People are going to be like, she likes lasagna. I like going to her house. I don't want to eat kale chips. I can eat brownies all day. Remember when I ate a pot brownie on stage? Hopes.
Yeah. Oh God.
Didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah. I remember that very well because
was that Vegas? I have no memory.
I think I blacked it out, but yeah, Vegas. I'm pretty sure it was.
All
Vegas.
I remember is I ate this brownie, and everybody was laughing, and then I got cold, and I was like, "Uh-oh,
why is everybody trying to kill me?"
And then I remember we had a quick change, and it was the first time that I've ever done a quick change that took 25 minutes.
Well,
Jen was putting my sock on.
We usually do it in like a minute and a half while a video rolls, and this time Kristin was just sitting in a chair, like. Talking about wallpaper.
No, I was talking about the show. I was having like a real sentimental moment, and I remember very clearly. I was like, "Isn't this cool, Jen? Like, we get to be in front of all these women, and we get to have this minute together." And Jen was like, "Shut up and get on your shoes!
What are you doing?
You are not dressed."
It was like weekend at Bernie's trying to get this like into a leotard. It was so hard, you guys.
I know. I just
had a
remember my
lighting
feet,
guy
my
in there,
hands
like,
were
just-
light. I was like, I don't want anyone to tell me what to do right now.
Hold her legs straight. Hold her legs straight. I gotta get them in these hose.
Aaron was trying to pull the leotard up, and I was like, why are you guys stressing out right now? Why is there people trying to kill me?
Simultaneously wonderful and
hilarious. And then I had to do a dance routine, and I'm like, am I keeping up with the tempo? Or
nope, she was doing her own
I was
thing.
kind of like 2 steps, 3 steps behind the whole time.
Yeah.
I felt great.
But you know what? I feel like that's how Elvis did most of his shows. It's totally fine. So if you're in Vegas, you do as the Vegasans
you did it. You do as the Vegas does. And here's the thing: I felt like the audience was more with me than they were with you because they were
most of them were high,
and half of them were hammered. So I think they were like, "She's got moves for days."
It was either they were with their super high wingman or they were like the chaperone for the night. So everybody was totally good, which is a great place to go see thongs because I remember going to like. At the Palms, staying at that hotel, and I was there.
Fancy. I just always stayed at like Treasure Island.
Super not fancy, but I've stayed there too. But also Palms,
What do you mean?
We didn't stay at the.
You stayed at the Palms. That's a fancy hotel.
It's like $79 a night. It's
That's
like
fancy Vegas. I was like in a $12 with a buffet.
This is literally in my adult life, Kristen. This is not when I was in my. This was the
like
Palms is not
2
that
years
old.
ago.
We were not staying at like the penthouse. So this was my husband and I were staying there for 2 nights, and I was there for work. And we go down to the hotel pool, and I was like, "Well, I'll be damned. Everybody's in a thong. Here I am in a."
Sensible
one piece from Target.
Yep.
Thank you, Isaac Mizrahi, for putting me in something I'm not ashamed of. And then everybody goes and makes me feel like a big turd.
Yeah, you're like, what are you hiding? Did you? It is such a weird thing because there is like, I remember having a very impactful moment at one of those very bougie rooftop pools in LA.
Yeah.
I think it was the Standard, which is like, I mean, you walk in and it's like feels like you've walked in, you've accidentally tripped and gone into like a party with supermodels. You're like, this doesn't feel right. Like I don't know what's going on here.
I don't have an accent.
Why?
I do,
Why are you so hot and interesting and like I'm a mess?
Yeah.
So
and literally, why are we Facebook friends 14 years later? Because so many of them I am.
I know. Jen is always like, let's be friends on Facebook. I can give you coupon codes, and they're like, thank you.
I lost a lot of them on MySpace, which is great, but. Now I'm seeing these people that were hard partiers and they're like driving a station wagon with 4 kids. And
they're
I'm like,
coming around the bend. It's
welcome.
fair. Everything's fair. I was on MySpace and it was the only place I felt like I could have a booby picture, which was just a cleavage in a shirt.
Why didn't I? Is that profile still up?
No, I mean, come on. It was me wearing, let's be honest, and I'm going to say this wrong and you're going to correct me. It was like an empire waist.
Empire?
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. Fancy. High waist.
Yep.
I was wearing a costume and I happened to have my boobs were up and I took a picture.
Wait, I think
that
I
was
remember
my
this
MySpace
photo.
picture. And by the way, I had like a half inch of cleavage and I was very excited about it. And then I felt terrible. I took it down.
You were like, oh, my
I was
aunts
like, I've done
hate
too.
me. Yeah.
I've done too much. My aunts would have been like, show more.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
my
that's
aunt
good.
Joey would have been like, put a tube top on.
That's what's great about aunts.
Yeah,
right?
they're
like,
always the opposite. My Aunt Rainey would have been like, you need to like show it up. Like go to Vegas.
Speaking of thongs, and you do have to go back and you have to tell what the variations of thongs are right now, because I think it's important that we say this. So my Uncle Richard, my dad's brother, he and his wife, Pat, Pat.
Yes, she's lovely.
My Aunt Pat, she's still loves to party. She's so awesome.
Has a boyfriend.
She's got a boyfriend now.
I
have not met him, and I want to.
But she like dates a lot, and she's what, up of 70?
Oh, she's gonna be 80. I think
Here's
she just
the
turned
thing.
80
I don't
last
think
month.
she's just dating. I think Aunt Pat is getting action.
They
and
party hard. I think
I'm on board with that.
1000%. She's so
She's
sweet.
very cool.
My uncle was the love of her life. She still says it. She probably says it to her boyfriend. Like She says, "How am I so lucky to have met both of them in my life?" Like that's how sweet
she's
she
awesome.
is. She's
That's
so
not
great.
what I would say.
And she also is really funny because she and my uncle, they never had kids, but they were like they were just so living their lives. He was like, "You know why I married your aunt?" And I'm like, "Why?" He goes, "She had big boobs."
Well, God love her. My dad says he married my mom because she wore hot pants.
See,
and I saw him and they were very short.
I love it because he still thought of her like that
sexually.
forever.
It's kind of what we all want.
Yeah, you want.
We say the other, but we really want the like.
All you want to say
smart,
is down
but-
boy for the rest of your life.
Yeah, like-
you feel like a queen.
Yeah, you want to give a look and know that it's like boing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not what happens right now. I give a look and my husband's like, "What?"
Yeah. What do you want? What did I not do now?
Yeah.
What am I in trouble for now?
I'm trying to give you a boner with my look.
Yeah.
And now you've pissed me off. I don't care if you have a boner.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
Then you spoke.
Then you spoke and you ruined it. And I don't care about the story on ESPN.
So my uncle, they always had a boat on Lake Michigan, and just every weekend they were up there like partying on the boat. And my uncle used to make fun of, there was this old guy that would wear a thong Speedo, and he
God
would walk
bless him.
down the jetty just to get like super tan. He would make fun of him all the time. Next summer we go up there, guess who's got a thong?
Oh, your uncle.
Uncle Richard. He's like 5'6", about 250.
Whew.
Yep.
As tall as he is wide.
Yeah, if he was leaning over a little bit, you wouldn't even know he had a thong on.
Yeah.
So this is my Uncle Richard. So of course he's such a funny guy, and he wasn't at all skeezy. He was awesome. He got all the ladies in the marina. He convinced them that his nickname was Big Dick.
Oh, God.
And so we'd walk
bless
into
him.
a restaurant and everybody'd say, hey, Big
Big Dick.
Yeah, he loved it so much. He's a funny
I mean,
guy.
if you're going to have the name Dick because you're named Richard, you better have fun with it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just going to hate your parents.
He had a great time with it. So I have that big scar on my back from
surgery.
Having surgery when I was a baby. And when I was a kid, it was huge. It was all the way across my back.
Yeah.
Like I've grown into it. And certainly my flank fat has made it, a little.
There's some benefits.
There's a few benefits. But he asked me one time, he's like, well, what do you wear these big swimsuits for? He's like,
I would have said the exact same thing.
And I said, because I got a scar on my back. I don't want to wear a 2-piece swimsuit. And he goes, all the hot girls are wearing 2-piece swimsuits. We got to get you one. And that guy brought me, this was in the 80s. And he brought me to this swimsuit boutique. And again, I say not in a creepy way. He was like, you pick out.
He doesn't sound creepy at all to me. He sounds really nice.
You pick out 2 swimsuits and you wear them. He's like, you got to feel confident. You got to feel good about yourself. This coming from a 250-pound
guy who wears a thong. We all need to take a page from his book.
Absolutely. And he got these 2, and they were super expensive. Like I never had anything this nice in my life, and he got them for me, and I wore them. I still have them.
Yeah, I was going to say, you've one that still fits, don't you?
Yeah.
My mom used to sew bra tops in my bathing suits for me. So that I looked like I had a little something going on. And it made me feel like $1 million. It helped a very, troubled Kristin who was like, why am I not growing? Feel like I was part of,
Yeah, because here's what sucked about swimsuits. When we were growing up, it was it was just a piece of spandex, and that was kind of it. Now everything's
there's a little bit of frill. You can get something with a shoulder. You can get something with a cut.
Everything's got a built-in shelf for lifters.
There was nothing.
Or
it was just
cleavage.
And everything was neon. Do you remember?
God.
I was like, oh great. What do you put on somebody that has a very substantial hair situation? A see-through yellow bathing suit.
Yes, they were made so stupidly.
Yeah, they were ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I think it is important to invest in a nice swimsuit. I think, why wouldn't you? It's the one thing I've had. I bought this one. It's like a miracle suit, and it has a built-in waistline, and I love it, and I wear it, and I've now worn it for 8 years. I'm like, I need to hang this sucker up. The cut isn't even cool anymore, but I don't care. I'm like, I'm so happy to have it. Okay, so back to the model party that I was not invited to, but I happened to go at.
Okay,
the rooftop party. Here's what was important about that day. I was so self-conscious. I was 30. It's 28.
Oh, man.
I was so self-conscious because, it was the LA, Hollywood, everybody was, I don't know if 2 casting directors were there and they all showed up and decided to wear floss, but I was like, this is my literal hell. I'm good at a barbecue pool party with reasonable people, but this was I didn't feel good about this. So, and I've always had cellulite and I've always been self-conscious of it. So I went to the pool party. I'm in the pool and I look up and there is this gal and she's wearing a mini bikini and she has cellulite from middle to her knees. And she was a bright, shining star. She was having so much fun. She was getting so many drinks and having so much. Because I was like, look at you loving yourself. And I'm acting weird and self-conscious. And if I just choose not to, could I just be happy? And I wonder if that's the thong contingent. Put it on. Don't be weird about it. Don't walk out and be like, oh God, I'm naked. Because then it's over. The world's going to see all your flaws. But if you're just I'm going to own this and wear it because I want to.
That's
I wonder
true.
If that's a thing.
You know what? It's not always how well you sing. It's how well you sell it, You
do not have to tell that to someone like me. Because there is no one that sells singing.
I think it's the same with swimsuits, maybe.
I think there is something to it. I think you have to find a place where, and that's why I think it's ironic because moms, especially when we did the swimsuit video.
Yeah.
So many were sort of feeling like they didn't want to go to the beach. Therefore, they were going to miss out with their kids because they didn't want people to look at them in the suit because their bodies, whatever, weren't what they felt they should be. I'm like, it's so unfair, and it's motherhood. You're already taking care of kids, then you have this pressure of feeling like a supermodel. This is bullshit. Men don't do that to themselves. But what I think is
my husband will sit in a Speedo and eat a plate of hot wings.
Have you met my husband?
Yeah.
He thinks Speedos are hilarious. So funny trumps hot.
Yeah.
And then he becomes hot because he's hilarious.
And the confidence thing.
Do you remember when he walked by you wearing the Speedo and you just happened to be like not paying attention?
Yeah.
And no one would find it funnier than Jen Smedley.
Yeah.
It's like and it's not a big Speedo. It's a skinny, teeny Speedo that he bought on purpose.
Yeah.
That comes out every now and then for when people come over or he has to pick up delivery from the door. He loves doing that.
Oh my God.
And then you see the delivery guy go, oh, it's wonderful.
Just like my Uncle Richard.
Just like your uncle. That's who I'm attracted to.
Well, maybe it should be like swimsuits should be like the they're in sales. There's the foot in the door in the face theory. Like swimsuit should be like, we should all be expected to wear a thong to the beach so that when we say, oh, fuck, no, I'm not going to do that, we're like, I will wear this sensible Isaac Mizrahi swimsuit from Target and I'm going to get to the beach.
Yeah. But I think the thing that is amazing is like women, we do this thing where we're like, I don't deserve to wear, I don't deserve to be outside in the sun. But tell me if you've ever seen anything sort of more attractive than a woman being at the beach and like being playful with her kids or like getting in the sand and making a sandcastle or getting like playing volleyball or like there's something about that to me that like I feel like if the thing you're most worried about is what people think, what they think is you're badass when you're actually out in it, just living your life like that girl at the pools. I don't know, man. She made me rethink everything. I was like, by some beauty standards, you shouldn't be as happy as you are because the world is telling us magazines and the media.
Boo.
But you know what I mean?
Yes.
They're saying like,
I agree.
Hey, you don't look like Gal Gadot, so shit's over for you. It shows you that there is that other area you can live in, which is like
look like Gal Gadot. She's good. She's all wacky. You know what? If I took the time to oil up every day, I'd look better.
But here's the thing. I think average is okay.
Totally.
I think it's better than okay. I think it means get out and play with your kids.
Well, here's the other part about thongs and why you stare at people's butts. Not you in specific.
Well, me specifically, but that might be because I'm enamored.
Yeah, but I remember thinking like I was a big weirdo because if there was like a naked person on TV or like somebody wearing a swimsuit that was really skimpy, I was like, I'm really having trouble making eye contact with them. Like, what's going on here? But it is like that we're.
What do you always say? There's always the one person. You don't want to be the one person at the barbecue that makes everybody uncomfortable.
Yeah, you don't want to wear that swimsuit that makes everybody like, oh, we're gonna leave.
But I need that person to show up because then I know it's not me.
Yeah.
You know?
But we all know who that person is. Like, you think about your friend group right now. Who's going to be the one that shows up to the swim party and wears the swimsuit that you're all like, well, Jesus, didn't she know there'd be kids here? What's going on?
And my son's like, oh.
And so am I, and so is Kristin. Because
didn't she just win?
It depends.
I know, especially if there's kids around. You're like, hey, I don't want to explain some things. Like what a labia is because yours is hanging out of your suit. So
please tuck it
that
away.
Might work for me.
Here's a Colin Speedo is extra. He's not wearing it right now. You can put it on. But like the whole thing about skin is that you can't help but look at it because we're animals and that's like the most beautiful thing to us. So it doesn't matter what you look like. It's still the most beautiful thing in the area. Like your big ass, and I mean you by me. I'm not talking about
me by mine.
I'm talking about every ass out there.
Yeah.
Because all of them probably feel big except for the small percent that don't.
Because the small percent wants the bigger one, so they go get stuff shot into it. We're never happy.
Absolutely. So you could be in that thong swimsuit by the most beautiful sunset, but you know what the most beautiful thing is? Those hot cheeks sticking out, especially to your husband, man.
I think the butt is a really sexy feature, and I kind of feel like it's the past where you're like, it doesn't have to be perfect and it's hot.
Yeah.
Whereas like, I think because of my own body, I'm always looking at abs and like waistline because that's the thing I envy most because that's my trouble area. But the ass is an area that I just look at it out of pure enjoyment. And I also think it's a sign of strength. Like a woman with a really athletic butt is like, I feel like, again, I go back to caveman stuff. I'm like, I'd want to be friends with her because that bitch could pull a carcass across the bush.
Like that dancer butt or gymnast butt.
Dancer butt. I mean, those thighs and those big... I remember we went to...
Volleyball player butt.
Volleyball player butt. I mean, come on. My husband has what I always call it the Sweeney butt, because it's this high, round butt. When we were riding horses, his butt needed a saddle all to itself. It's so high. He's got this high, round butt. He's always had a beautiful legs and a beautiful round butt, and it fills out jeans, and it's my favorite thing on him. Aww. And my daughter has the same round butt and her thick, like I say that with like this girl, like when she flexes, like it's her entire leg is just like meaty muscle, and I'm like, God, I want her. Like, if she was wearing a thong, I'd be upset about it. But then I'd be like, just wait 5 years when I don't get to say anything.
I know. It's awesome. We don't appreciate it. And somewhere out there's somebody looking at my butt, and they're like, you know what? I like those flaps. I like those flaps that hang over the back of her legs.
You have a very nice round butt.
Well,
get a thong.
Now that I know you're such a connoisseur.
I'm not. I just did a lot of grazing when I was like gazing, not grazing.
Whoa!
That I also.
What happened when you were in Scottsdale?
You guys, I hooked up with another couple at the adult pool. They were really fun.
I tell you what, I know.
We know that would not happen. We know that I would run and hide in a bathroom.
Not my husband, but his friend, who's like the nicest guy I've ever met in my life. Like, seriously.
Who? Are you going to tell me somebody who's a swinger?
No, he's not a swinger, which makes it all the funnier. He's a really nice guy. I think he's like a special education teacher. Like, he could not be nicer. But his brother brought him to like one of those hedonism resorts as like a bachelor present.
What's that?
Where you're there just to hook up with randos and
you go to the resort? Yeah, do they have a spa package?
No kids.
I'm confused. Wait, what do you do there? You just bang people?
I think so. It's called. But listen again. It's called hedonism.
Hedonism.
You know what that word means?
Yeah. Well, I think it has to do something with you just get sex a lot.
Yep, and it's the name of the resort.
Me? You go to the resort and I gotta have sex?
You lost where I was going with this story.
Yep,
okay. Yep. So unbeknownst to him, he's like, let's go on this guy's trip. Sounds great. I love the beach. Shows up and it's like he's like, I'm literally married. I'm married and I teach special education. And what am I doing here?
What is that? What does that concierge look like? Is it like, hello, welcome. Hand jobs are on the second floor.
Yes.
Blow jobs are on the third floor.
May we call you a personal masseuse? May we? I don't know. I have no idea because I'm not going there. I've never been there.
Ew. You know everybody. I don't understand. You know what? I don't want anything to be that overt.
I'm a germphobe. Like, lie about it, everybody. We're from Nebraska. You lie about it, people.
It's like Burning Man. Like, it's the people that should. I've been twice. People that haven't want to be naked are the ones.
What?
This is in opposition to my comment about the frickin' thong. Because what I will say, twice. One time, never mind. Don't worry about it. But I went and I was like, oh, I've heard everybody walks around naked. Do you want to know who walks around naked?
Old guys.
And I'm like, I would rather not see your testicles dragging in the dirt.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though.
I don't know. That feels like
it's not attractive. Okay. Mostly because I'm like, you don't even have a job. Like, you're the most unattractive.
Unemployed testicles. Unemployed
testicles are different than employed testicles.
Okay. Yeah.
Especially if they're, very well-to-do testicles.
And that does not include stay-at-home dad testicles because those are huge and great.
Those are huge and great, and I have a pair of those at home.
They look like coconuts.
They look like coconuts. They belong to my husband. They do not belong to me. I got to go over to another conversation because I'm all I want to do is look up a hedonistic resort.
And the AC's turned off.
The AC's off. I'm like sweating. I'm like, is it because I'm talking about Jen's butt and a thong or what?
Looks like our girl trip's gonna like go to.
I double dog dare you to wear a thong. I think you will. Actually, Miss Sally will wear one for sure.
Fuck yeah, she will.
She won't wear pants. I think she should wear a mask only. That's what I think, and I will pay her.
Those are some great boobs, I'll tell you that.
I will tell you right now, I will literally pay her money. I don't have to pay her money. I will double dog dare her like a third grader, and she'll take it.
She'll do it. I'll
in.
do it. I dare you.
Now I'm gonna go. You know I'm shy.
I'm gonna go to Target right now and see if they got any thong. No,
I take risks on stage, not in my life.
You're not gonna do it. You said you have a thong.
I have a high-waisted swimsuit bottom.
What does that mean?
I think it just goes up on my butt, but it does look like a thong when I want it to. Like
I'll do one of those I'll do one of those high V's.
Do a high V.
I'll do a high V.
I'm not doing a real thong.
No, I'll do a Baywatch suit. I'll do a Baywatch suit.
You've already got one like that.
Actually, you know what? I do. Remember, I got that one when we were on the road that I was.
Remember, and you wore it with.
It says firecracker.
Oh my God, yes.
Yep.
I remember when we were backstage, it was the one time our kids...
I'm going to wax my lower back for that one.
I get you. I'm probably going to have you wax my lower back. We were at a show one time. We were in the backstage, and we had the kids with us for the first time ever. We brought them out on stage and introduced them. And that's when Finn told his whole class that mommy makes money by wearing naked clothes, because we ended the show in Spanx.
But I remember girl you were named wearing Crystal who's like, mine too.
Mine too. Yeah, like, oh, it's weird. My mom makes more money than you. I'd be like, yeah, that's probably right.
Good for her.
But you wore a thong with your underpants with leggings underneath.
Totally.
Do you remember Eleanor being like, why is Miss Jen wearing such a thing? Because it's funny.
It's a picture of kids being very scared. It doesn't make me feel great.
Yeah, listen, you know what?
Life choices.
They're fine. When they go to college and it's paid for, they can talk about it to their therapist after that. I do not feel bad about it.
Who's your hot flash?
Okay, you guys, hot flash, big time.
Hot flash, hot flash.
It's less about the actor and more about the character.
Oh boy.
But this person has changed my life. My hot flash is Ted Lasso. And it's not just him, it's the show. It's the show. I might say this. How much Chardonnay have I had? It's because this thing is killing my ear.
It's real toasty in here too. Whew.
I think he's changed the way I think about things. So Ted Lasso, it is a series based on a American football coach from Kansas City, from Wichita.
Yeah.
Moves to London to coach a soccer team. He's never played
Football.
the sport. So it's these Brits. It's a mix of different people from different parts of the world that come to play football in London. And like everybody calls him a wanker. They hate him.
They chant it.
Obviously throughout, everybody falls in love with him because he is ultimately positive.
Yeah.
And what it is, and like improv, you learn this, that like a scene can be a yes and scene. It can be an agreement scene. Like you can literally have a scene in your life or a scene on stage where all you're doing is agreeing, and it feels really good.
Yeah.
This entire series is like an example of an agreement scene, and it's so good and it's full and rich. And you think that they always start with their best joke, so you're like, well, where are they going to go now? And it only gets better. And
it's not about
my favorite.
It's not about like necessarily agreeing with the person that you're in the scene with. You're just agreeing what the reality is. You're like accepting this is where I'm at in life and going with that.
Exactly. It's not, you're right. And I think when you see the show, you'll see what we're talking about, in that you feel like conflict comes from a natural place. It doesn't come from the humans that are having a back and forth. It's just like you like him despite yourself.
Yeah.
You like the characters despite themselves. It's just wonderful.
Yeah.
I can't recommend it enough. I'm in love with Ted Lasso. I've always loved Jason Sudeikis. I know he can rub people the wrong way sometimes, but I think for me, he's like nothing but hot in a bottle.
Okay.
But this is him coming out of nowhere, showing his real, and there's like vulnerability there, and the way he is emotive, because like nothing bugs me more than when actors are like, I'm just gonna be really still, because that's a thing. I like animation. I like people that talk with their hands, as I talk with my hands right now, and I'm a huge
I'm gonna tell you my favorite and least favorite part of what I've seen so far.
How dare you have a least favorite part? I don't understand.
Oh, you'll agree with me. You'll agree.
Okay.
My favorite is probably the darts scene.
It's wonderful, isn't it?
Oh my God, it's so good.
Did you cry a little bit? I like found myself like smiling and crying. I don't want to talk about it too much, but I was overwhelmed.
Good for you. This, I think, is it that same episode maybe? He makes this decision that means he won't see somebody.
I know.
That part, I was like, I can't watch this. It's too upsetting.
Well, but I think it's a reality, and I actually appreciated that they played the reality, and it's not forever, and like I think it's it struck me too. And that scene where there's so much. I don't want to give any. we could do an entire podcast on Ted Lasso.
They're not paying us to promote it, but it's good.
Not
watch
at all.
it. Watch
I want
it.
us to be on it. I'm like, hey, Lasso people.
Hey, if you're listening, Lasso people, we'd make a really great football
couple.
Yeah.
who just have accents and
Yeah,
are there for
we
no
can,
reason. Or we could play as sisters. I think we could play Wichita sisters better than anybody.
Oh, God, are you kidding
With
me?
him, and like all we do is bookend him and give him advice in a positive manner.
My grandma and my aunt, they're from Wichita.
There we go.
Yeah.
And he's got the Wichita accent, which we all love.
Yeah.
And he reminds me of it reminds me of why I'm so proud to be from the Midwest and like what Midwestern people do. And it is sort of that like, I'm not going to be downtrodden. I'm going to kind of come up. I'm going to, it's instead of a dismount, you're like kind of like up mounting a little bit.
I think real life too, he is from Kansas.
He is.
So
he absolutely
we
is.
got to support our own.
And Brendan Hunt, which one's
that one?
He is the coach. He's the best friend. He created it with Jason.
Oh, okay.
And he was a big IO improviser and was like kind of like struggling and making his way, and then had this idea, and he did the smart move where he did not make himself the central character. He was the creator, and he knew that Jason Sudeikis would play that role, and he'd probably get it made because he's famous. And I think that Brendan Hunt is another character in there that I think is such a wonderful example of just a friendship that's rooted
is he
in
the
history.
really quiet friend?
Yep.
Okay.
He's the quiet friend who, in a look, does everything that you think you need more and you don't. He's just there to be like, nope, I get this guy. And I'm on board for all of it. I've watched the entire season twice. I can't get enough of it.
Sounds wonderful. At any point, you've watched more than I have. Does he wear a thong?
God, I freaking hope, because now I've got
That's
a
why
lot
you're
to
watching
go
it,
on.
isn't it? You're
I'm
just
hoping for
watching to
season
wait
2
and see.
that there's
Yeah.
a real
We'll
flaw
see.
situation.
We'll see.
We'll report back about Jen's thong situation. Hopefully we'll post something on the I Mom So Hard podcast page of her not being a chicken shit. Okay, you guys, thank you so
Apologies in advance.
much. Apologies.